Hi guys, Jay Smith here. Welcome to the AskGolfNut channel. Now, generally speaking, I'm not a great fan of doing very specific tuitional based content on the channel. The reason being is because if you imagine you've got a spectrum of golfers all suffer from the same thing, let's say, and you say fix it by doing this, yes, you could make this person better, but then conversely on the other side you can make that person worse. So you kind of teach the individual. However, there are some very simple, easy things that golfers get wrong day in, day out that we really need to be kind of like keeping on top of. So I'm going to do a little test just with me, and then when it comes to you hitting more greens, so it may sound very, very simple, but it's not. Obviously hitting greens is important because that's one way of getting your handicap down. Short game and all that lot's important as well. But I'm on FSX Pro. Well, I will be on FSX Pro. I'm going to go set it up to hit my standard 7-iron distance, and I'm going to set it to a normal size-ish green for me, which is quite a small one, but that's what I'm trying to do. And I'm going to see what my carry distance is on average. And then when it comes to other golfers, I have captured some information from a range of handicaps. And when it comes to doing sessions, whether it's custom fits, gap tests, or even coaching sessions, when you're speaking about just, well, how far do you hit your 7-iron? And they give a number, and you look at the information that they're producing, and you think, really? Well, you haven't hit that number yet. And then well, I'm not warmed up yet, and so of course they keep hitting, and then they keep hitting more shots, and then they catch one. Whether they swung really fast or whatever it be, and they go, yeah, that's the number I normally hit. Well, if you just look at your average data, you're not even close. You may hit one, but yeah, so we'll get into that one in a sec. So I'm going to go get FSX Pro ready. I'm going to go get my 7-iron, and then we're going to hit, say, 10 shots or so, show the data that I produce, and then we'll go over to the data which I've captured from handicap golfers ranging from very, very close to scratch all the way up to 28, and show you what the differences really are. FSX all set up and ready to go. I have the green set at 162 yards. 164-ish is my normal average carry for 7-iron, dependent on how warm I feel, what time of year it is, how much golf I played, how flexible I feel. Again, yeah, it's winter time and I'm getting old. So I've got 162. Normal 164, but 162, I'm happy with that. And I've got the green set for a bit of fun when it comes to target, chase cam, target mode. So it'll count how many green in regulations I hit. I have got the green set to about 10 yards miss, which is about 7-ish%, something like that. So anyway, we're gonna have 10 shots. See how I get on, and then we're going to go look at the data that I've captured for handicap golfers and just see how far they are off, and it is quite interesting, the findings. Right, 7-iron, let's go hit these fairly rapid fire, if not we'll be here all day. Not bad whatsoever, straight down the pipe. Oh, that's an interesting chase cam. Oh, there we go. So I have got it on carry distance when it comes to the chase and target. So as long as it hits its carry number, that's what I'm looking for. What was that? 166.1. That's out to the right slightly. Should count still, 8.9 yards. That's a miss for me. But 163.8. That's workable. Definitely workable. Oh, that's a big miss hit off the heel for me. Slightly low heel. That'll be fine. Good delivery. It's just poor strike. So, what was delivery on that one? Just through interest. 159.2 yards, yes, because I misstruck it. Come on, quad, turn over screen. 90.9 miles an hour at 0.5, 0.4. So yeah, very close when it comes to its delivery. It was just misstruck out of the bottom and slightly heely. Slightly toey, but pretty good. What was that, 162? 161.8. Nice shot. 167.6. On the left hand side of the screen there, you can see that the averages, I've got 163.7 average. That's munched, like properly munched. So 92.4 miles an hour clubhead speed. I'm fully warmed up now. 0.6, 0.9 when it comes to delivery. So effectively, yeah, as good as I'm ever going to hit a 7-iron. 170.4 yards. You can see there from the 159, I do have a little bit of inaccuracy. Hit really well again. 169.5, again, that's a really nice hit. 92.4. Got the old tracer in the way. That's fine. So we've got, what, 7 shots, a few more to go. Oh, it's just a bit of a miss hit. I'll come back. Slightly low on the face, but pretty good. What are we sitting on there? 170 on the dot. 92.7, yeah, so slightly faster. That's where I'm getting that little bit of extra help when it comes to the distance. Good shot, 166.7. Last one, I think. Call this rapid fire, I'm getting out of breath. Right, one more to go. 9 out of 9, can we do 10 out of 10? We can. 167.7, offline 0.2. That's going to go over the pin, or just, but pretty good. So you can see by the information already there, my average is 166.3. Now, again, normally I average about 164. I was thinking today, because it's winter, I'm not going to be quite as flexible, but I'm swinging at normal speed. Again, look at clubhead speed down there, 92.8. So my averages run though, you can see there it's 166, but I do drop to 159 when I hit it poorly. So, and it goes up to 170 there when I hit it really, really well. But considering it's not too bad, you're looking at 10 yards front to back on my worst hit to my best hit. So you work on your averages, 166. I'm not far off my normal 164. So, right, let's go to the PC and I will show you just how interesting the results that I found from different golfers ranging from a 28 to a 2 handicap. So before we go have a look at the 28 handicappers results, which are interesting, we'll just do a quick overview of what I've just done. Now the great thing about doing it on FSX Pro is because you can run many different types of reports, etc. So I've just done a summary report of what I've just done, so it's nice and easy to understand. First screen there, you've got the ball speed and all the ball data, and then underneath that you've got the club head data of averages of what I've just hit there. If you go to the next screen, that is the ball data screen. You've got every single shot that I've just hit there, and you can see the fact that I'm either hitting straight shots into the green relatively, or I leak them off to the right. That is my pattern. I know that pattern, and so I'm understanding that when it comes to my aim effectively. But then again, you see there, they don't look too bad. I mean, you've got 159.2 yards as my shortest one and 170.4 as my longest. Now that's 159.2. If you go by the next screen, you can see there was made up by the strike. 10 mil low, 12 mil heel. Now considering I hit it that bad, and I'm using blades, remember, I'm using MP20 blades. These things are small, and so generally speaking, they say blades aren't forgiving. Well, okay, 10 mil low, 12 mil heels, no fun to hit on any golf club, but it's only actually really dropped, what, 7 yards, 6-7 yards off of average, which is not bad at all. Right, so let's go over to the handicappers side. So let's go do the ball compare and club compare first, so you can get an understanding of exactly what all the handicaps I tested. I tested a 28 handicapper, a 15 handicapper, a 10 handicapper and a 2. Unfortunately, I didn't really get a choice as to who I chose and when. It was a case of whoever came through the door from a point of view would be happy with me using their data. So I had a 28 handicap at first, that's why it goes 28, 10, 15, 2, rather than my OCD would like it going 28, 15, 10 and 2, but don't worry. You can see on there that you can see ball speed differences, you can see launch angle differences and similarities as well, because they all play different shot shapes. But you can see the dispersion rings. The most important thing is the dispersion rings on the top right. You can see there that when you go to a red one, how big that dispersion is, front to back, left and right. Everyone misses left and right, but front to back. And then it goes to a grey, which is slightly smaller in the 15 handicap. The yellow, again, is slightly smaller when it comes to a 10 handicap. And then the smallest one is the light green one. You can see that is very small when it comes to dispersion, left to right and front to back, because we are talking about a 2 handicapper. Now, how is that made up of when you're talking about an individual? And I wrote them on the data sets as well. When I asked them, how far do you hit your 7-iron? And the 20 handicapper says 140 yards. So I wrote in there, as you can see on the red, 28 handicapper, 7-iron, 140. If you look at the average carry, this is the average carry numbers, 120. Now, if I remember rightly on the whole data set, and I'm talking, I think it was something along the lines of 25 shots or so that they hit, 20, 25 shots. He never hit 140, ever, carry. I think his longest was 136, but I think I've captured it on the other screen in a minute. But he never got anywhere close to 140. And yet he feels that's where his 7-iron goes, 140. If you look at the dispersion ring, you can see there he distinctly hits ones which are far, far worse than 140. And so by him thinking he hits the golf ball 140, he's always going to be short and always going to be in bunkers and in trouble for the green. And if you look, generally speaking, if you look at golf course design, trouble is left and right. It is, yeah, definitely, but it is also very much so short left and right. Why? Because obviously understanding that amateur golfers hit short rather than long. And if you look at the standard deviation of 13 on a 120 yard average, you can see there, if he was just to change his understanding of how far he hits to 120 yards rather than 140, which is completely unattainable, he would hit far, far more greens than he does think so when he's going for 140 yards. Let's go to the 15 handicapper. There's jump one. You can see there he thinks he hits it 160. He's got an average carry of 151, but a standard deviation of 6, so he's getting closer. I'll have to look at the data. We'll look at the data later on to see how close he actually ever got to 160. And then conversely, no different to a 10 handicapper, was going slightly better. He thought he hit his 7-iron 155. I didn't go into the detail of what club they were using, what loft the 7-iron is. It's irrelevant really, but it's just a case of what they feel they hit their 7-iron. He says 155, he hit it 149 with a standard deviation of 5. So he is getting potentially closer to that 155 number. And you can see there by the dispersion yellow ring there that, yeah, he drops back. But then, yeah, we all, as you can see from my data, I'm not perfect at all. 2 handicapper, the green one, here we go. He says he hit his iron 7-iron 160 yards, and he did. He hit his iron on average 160 yards with a standard deviation of 4. So basically we're saying here that he has a good understanding of exactly how far on average he hits his 7-iron at 160 yards. This is the important thing. And if you look at his dispersion ring is smallest. Of course, he is 2 handicapper, but then he has also given himself the best opportunity to be in the middle of his misses, which is the important thing. If you look over at the clubhead data, you can see they all swing at different speeds. They're all delivering slightly different lofts. They're all delivering slightly different numbers with the, I suppose you could say the similarities as the handicap comes down, generally speaking, delivery becomes more neutral or more neutralized. You can see how the numbers start to get a bit smaller as the handicap goes down. So let's get to the data very, very quickly when it comes to it. And I've kept all the data there. I've hit, obviously, I've captured so many shots there from a 28 handicapper that it's scroll through the screen. So again, I think here it is, 4 from the bottom. There we go, just see on there. 136 yards carry. That's his longest that he hits his 7-iron, but you can see there he's caught a few at 86 yards carry, 99 yards carry, 111, 112.
it's those ones there where he's either fatting it or mishitting it poorly. You can see distinctly that there's a problem of how far he actually hits his 7-iron. If he was just to change his understanding of how far he hits it, he would put himself in a position to hit so many more greens, or at least be so much closer to the pin, if he was just to learn that fact. Let's go to the 15 handicapper ones there. There you go. You've got that one where he thinks he hits it 160 yards. He's got a 158 on there. He's got 156, 157. He also drops to 132 and 141s when he mishits it, definitely, because all golfers mishit. But you can see if he was just to think, okay, I hit it 150 yards or 145 yards, or I'd say 150 yards, he would have then put himself again in the position just to be much closer to the green. Of course, you can see there some of his shots go 36 yards offline and 33 yards offline when he absolutely just hits it poorly. But there's a lot of good shots on there as well if he was just to rethink on how far he actually hits these golf clubs, and does a better job of understanding that. 10 handicapper, getting better. You can see there 155 I think it was, he thought he hit his golf club, and at 149 on average with a 5-yard standard deviation, that is much better. You can see there's quite a few times that he gets very close to the number which he thinks he hits. Yes, he drops down, and if he was to probably move his yardage to 149 or 150, again, he'd put himself a bit more in the hunt to hit more greens, but he's getting better. And then if you go to the last one, when you're talking about 160 yard, 2 handicapper, yes, you hit some weird and wonderful shots. He had down one there at 18 yards right and 15 yards right. But again, if you look at his distance control is better. You do get the odd sporadic one. He's got a couple there at 166, one at 153, but his average is so much closer to what he actually thinks he hits. And from that point of view alone, he is going to be playing much better golf. Even if you had a 2 handicapper or two handicappers, but one had a poor understanding of how far you hit it, like this person doesn't, his short game has to be so much better because he's just missing more greens. If you can get it on the green, you can get your putter out. Unless you've got an absolute devil of a short game, I'd rather putt it than chip it. But there you go. Have a very quick look at all the clubhead data. I'll skip literally through it. You can see a 20 handicapper. He's cutting across it, face open. He is fading it in there, and you can look by the far right hand side, the strike screens. I mean, they are interesting to say the least, but then they will be. He is mishitting it well rather than mishitting it, and so changing your understanding of how far you hit it based on the fact that you know you don't hit it very well, and then changing that understanding as you get better. And then you can quickly go over to a 15 handicap, striking it somewhat better. A 10 handicap, it still moves around, I would say. Actually, if anything, you've got 4 mil, 3 mil low, 8 mil. I mean, to be fair, looking at the two difference between the 10 and 15 in strike difference, there's not that much in it. And then when it comes, obviously, the 2 handicapper, with the exception of the odd one here and there, it is exceptionally good. So basically, to conclude, when you're looking at how you can, I could do, there's also one on when it comes to gapping as well. I think I'll do another video on that. But if you just look at how you physically use your clubs, understanding how far they actually go, and building your yardages around a known average rather than the one that you hit that hits 7 potholes, sprinkler heads, cart paths, anything there that would make that golf ball bound on, and then using that as your peak, as your average, you really need to try and make sure that you look at your yardages much more sensibly to give yourself the best possible chance at hitting the green. If you just do the things that you can see on there, just from what I've shown today, then golfers will reduce their handicaps overnight without actually getting any better. Technically, that is. Of course, you can have coaching to make you physically better when it comes to your swing, but just understanding this very easy, simple thing can make the world of difference to how good you can shoot and score and play this game of crazy, weird, frustrating golf. So hope you liked it. If you did, comment below. Anyway, down there, comment below as in the case of, have you ever even thought about doing this? Have you done this? Have you done gap tests? Have you spent some time with your pro talking about distances such as this? While you're down there though, there's a little thumbs up button. That's a like. If you can click that one, that'd be brilliant. Next to it is a red subscribe button. It's free, and if you could do that, the channel loves it, I like it, and so does YouTube. And while you're down there also, there is a little bell icon. Ding-a-ling, go on, get the bell on, because that is a notification bell. Will let you know next time I upload another video. So I hope you're well, and we'll see you again soon.